Hey guys, welcome back. I know I haven't been posting anything in a while. Um, Ever since my plans with that stream went really wrong, I've been trying to explain to you guys why I didn't do the stream. I'll make a big video about it probably today, but I just want to clarify that I didn't do that child abuse charity stream because I really didn't get any support or any viewers. I'll probably take down those streams because I said I'd do it late March, and it says for child abuse, so I don't want to look like I'm just using that to gain views and never actually do the stream. I'll make a video about why my channel didn't get any recognition at all. But I swear, if I do get like a decent amount of subscribers, that I could actually maybe get some viewers and donations, I'll definitely do that stream as soon as possible. I also apologize for my voice. I'm kind of stuffed up today. Probably with all the pollen blowing around and stuff. Even though we had some rainy days for a while now. But so yesterday I thought of this, and I thought, wow, this is actually, I never really considered, I've never really, paid too much attention to sexism against men. I know there is a little bit, but I never really thought it was like a systemic issue. Like, I do know about, the sex pay gap, like difference between men and women's pay. Now, some people say maybe that it's because of the jobs they do or something, but I've heard it's like they make 77 cents on the dollar for the same job as a man, and that's really messed up, But that's just money compared to what men might possibly have to go through again one day. Just not making enough money is not as much of a concern. And there is, sexual assault and rape and all that. So don't think I'm trying to make sexism against women less of an issue, because it is a really big deal. And for what I'm going to talk about, well, one of these for men is a pretty big deal, but again, it's just money. But it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be looked at, because this is our courts that are determining this, not just some employer. So the first problem I see is the draft. The draft makes me really mad, and when I turn 18, I will most likely not be registering for the selective service, because from what I've read is that you have a choice to register or not, but if you don't register, then you don't get like financial aid for college and stuff like that. But I don't really know if I plan on going to college or not, so that's not exactly a big loss for me. Plus, I'll work and I'll pay it off. I'll trade stocks and things like that, because I already have money I'm going to be putting into the stock market and doing frequent trading. So I most likely won't be registering for the selective service, because it's unfair that only men who want these benefits have to actually potentially risk their lives in a war, which they don't even get to choose if they're going to fight in. Like, if we were going to war against a power like a country that, I don't know, kills all black people or something, and I know that's actually what's happening, sign me up. But if we're just going to war in the Middle East for some shady reason, and that's why the Middle East fights each other a lot, is we just topple all their governments and try to put our own system in there. Same with capitalism and communism. The Cold War was pretty much fought just because they don't want people to try communism. That's at least what I've heard, but maybe that's not the full truth. But, that system, the draft, the men that are in there either have to choose to fight a possibly useless war like Vietnam Part 2 or something like that, or go to jail. And women, I don't know if women have like the selective service or whatever it is, but I know that women don't get drafted. But I don't know if I'm pretty sure they still get the same financial aid and stuff, but don't have to put their lives on the line for it. And I'm sorry if I'm wrong about this. I mean, I did some research, did some reading, things like that, but I'm sorry if maybe some of these things I say might be not true or misinformed. Man, I'm stuffy. Really, I am. I am sorry because I don't want to spread, false information. But it makes me mad that they really do treat men here like you're only here to work and to risk your lives and die. It's just wrong that, not all men want to just work and, be cold and unemotional. They're not all just drones. We're still people. We can't just be treated like we're just meant to be here to work and things like that. It's just wrong. So the second thing, which I do have a little more information on, is divorce and the courts. So the first thing with the courts is that it seems like women a lot of the time get reduced sentences for the same crime. Like I remember, I think that guy who made Daisy's Destruction, I think his colleague or something, that girl, I think she just got off, or she got like a reduced sentence. There was some man and woman who killed like a kid or a few kids and buried them in your yard. I'm pretty sure the man got the death penalty or just life in prison, and the women only got like 25 or something. And then there was a woman back in like 2002 or something that hit a kid with her car, and that kid ended up dying because she was talking on the phone and she just went past two parked cars in the road. All she got was like a fine, like a small amount of probation time. Like I don't even think 10 years, and she had to make a safety video. And she was also a movie star too. So our courts are also kind of classist. And another thing I want to talk about is divorce. Because what I read, I think it's like on Forbes or something, was that there's like 400,000 people receiving alimony payments, and only 3% are men. And then there's like 40% of households are like the women are the head of the house, making the most money or something. But how is it that with 40% of women being at the head of the house, making the most money, only 3% of alimony payments go to men? And then also, usually custody rules and like visitation favors for the woman. And that sometimes the woman could be just like an abusive piece of trash, and the man is like a good, caring guy and can't even see his kid because he's a man, and the kids end up going to the abusive woman all the time. I'm not saying that's what it is usually. I don't really know the statistics about domestic abuse of women versus domestic abuse of men, but from stories I've heard from people, that definitely happens. That they get sent to their mom's house, and their mom's abusive, and then the courts don't really do much. I think there's a channel called like Jimmy the Hobo or something. You should go check him out. He has like a big old video on how his ex-wife was abusive, but the courts don't really let his kids see him that often. You should go check that one out. And yeah, it's just my little rant about what I think about why the government is sexist against men sometimes. I know there's probably some stuff that the government does that might be sexist against women too. Like, happily now women can serve combat roles, but like up until the late 2000s they couldn't. And that's just, if a woman wants to go and fight for what she believes in, there's no reason she can't. So yeah, it was just my little rant on systemic sexism in the American government today. If there is anything I said that was wrong, or any way you can prove something different, please leave a comment, because I don't want to be spreading anything that's misinforming. And yeah, I'm about to run out of videos, so just drop a comment if you want to correct something I said, and I'll be happy to read it. And I appreciate the scrutiny.